What is environmental degradation? The deterioration of the environment due to human activities and natural processes leading to the depletion of resources and harm to ecosystems is termed as environmental degradation. This affects biodiversity, human health, and economic stability. It also poses challenges for future generations.
Now let's see some types of environmental degradation. First one is air pollution. Contamination of air by harmful gases and particles. Second one is water pollution. Contamination of water sources by harmful substances.
Third one, soil degradation. Loss of soil fertility and productivity. Fourth one, deforestation. Clearance of forest leading to the loss of biodiversity.
The fifth one is climate change, global warming or altered weather patterns. The sixth one is noise pollution, excessive noise harming human health and wildlife.
Light pollution, excessive artificial light harming ecosystem. Plastic pollution, accumulation of plastic waste harming ecosystem.
Ninth one is overexploitation, unsustainable harvesting of resources like fish, timber, and minerals. And tenth one is urbanization, rapid growth of cities resulting in land degradation and increased waste production.
Poverty, a major contributor to environmental degradation and thus at a root of a survival environmental problem is the poverty. Natural causes. This include drought, flood, typhoons, rising temperature and fires.
So, how can environmental degradation be an economic issue? Environmental degradation can be an economic issue in a number of ways.
The first one is threatening the world economy. The destruction of nature can reduce global GDP by an estimated $2.7 trillion annually by the year 2030.
Second one is contributing to poverty. Environmental degradation can lead to decreased crop yields and water shortages which can make it difficult for people to produce enough food to feed their families.
Restoring competition. When polluters don't have enough economic incentives to cut pollution, it can distort competition and inhibit the development of environment-friendly technologies and products.
The fourth point is retarding economic growth. A study has found that environmental degradation has a retarding effect on economic growth.
Environmental degradation can be caused by a number of factors including economic growth, population growth, urbanization, intensification of agriculture and rising energy use of transportations.
Consequences of environmental degradation are extinction of species, collapse of ecosystem, human migration and conflict, economic instability, food and water insecurity, increased disease spread, decreased quality of life, irreversible damage to the planet.
Some incidents that took place due to environmental degradation are: the first one is Amazon rainforest fires, devastating wildfires and burning millions of acres, threatening biodiversity and climate stability.
Australian bushfires, catastrophic fires burning over 10 million hectares, killing wildlife and impacting air quality.
Third one is floral bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef. Rising ocean temperatures causes widespread coral death.
Fourth one is plastic pollution in the Pacific Ocean, Great Garbage Patch, massive accumulation of plastic waste harming marine life.
Fifth one, climate-driven migration in Africa, droughts, floods and desertification forcing millions to flee their homes.
2022 Pakistan floods, 2021 hurricane in USA and 2020 Caribbean oil spill or some other recently occurred environmental disaster.
Now, let's see how environmental degradation affects India. Environmental degradation significantly affects India, impacting various aspects of its economy, ecosystem, and human well-being.
Air pollution and water pollution affected urban centers, industrial zones, and agricultural areas. Deforestation and land degradation affected forests, wildlife habitats, and rural landscapes. Climate change affected coastal regions, Himalayan glaciers, and agricultural zones. Water scarcity affected rural and urban areas, particularly in western and southern states. Also, Ganga River basin has been severely polluted, affecting millions depend on its waters. Indo-Gangetic Plain is facing severe air pollution, water pollution, and soil degradation. In Western Ghats, biodiversity is threatened by deforestation, mining, and infrastructure projects. Himalayan region is vulnerable to climate change, glacier melting, and natural disasters. Coastal region is affected by sea level rise, salt water intrusion, and cyclones.
Environmental degradation also affected populations. The first one is rural communities dependent on natural resources for livelihood. The second one is tribal communities displaced or affected by deforestation, mining, and infrastructure projects. The third one is urban poor exposed to air, water pollution, lacks access to clean resources. The fourth one is farmers impacted by soil degradation, water scarcity, and climate change.
Health impacts. First one, respiratory diseases, air pollution related illness. Second one, waterborne diseases, cholera, diarrhea, and other illness from contaminated water. Third one, vector-borne diseases, malaria, dengue, and chikungunya due to poor sanitation. Fourth one, malnutrition linked to soil degradation, water scarcity, and reduced crop yields.
There are various economic impacts also. First one, loss of livelihoods. Environmental degradation directly affects sectors like agriculture, fisheries, and forestry. Then health costs. Pollution and climate change contribute to healthcare expenditure. Then infrastructure damages. Climate-related disasters such as floods, cyclones, and drought can cause substantial damage to infrastructure. And also on tourism. Environmental degradation can negatively impact tourism, a significant contribute to the Indian economy by diminishing the attractiveness of natural and cultural sites.
Initiatives: National Environment Policy 2006, National Clean Energy and Environment Fund 2050, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan 2014, National Action Plan on Climate Change 2008, Forest Right Act 2006.
Civil society efforts. Environmental non-governmental organizations are groups that work to address environmental issues like climate changes, population and biodiversity loss. Community-led conservation. There's a model where local communities and indigenous people manage natural resources and care for their lands. Activist movements. Activist movements are efforts to promote freedom or interview in social, political, economic or environmental reform. An educational awareness campaign is a marketing initiative that aims to educate the public about a specific issue, causes or services.
Displacement and migration, food and water insecurity, water impact like respiratory issues, waterborne disease, and economic instability are some humanitarian impact.
Sustainable resource management, renewable energy transition, conservation efforts like wildlife resource, climate smart agriculture, waste reduction, recycling, eco-friendly technologies, education and awareness, policy and regulatory frameworks are some solutions for environmental degradation.
Let's see some international agreement and effects taken for solving environmental degradation. Paris Agreement on Climate Change, Sustainable Development Goals, Convention on Biological Diversity, United Nations Environmental Programme, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Conclusion. As we have seen, environmental degradation is a pressing issue that affects us from deforestation to pollution, climate change to species extinction. the consequences of human actions are stark.
But it's not too late. We can make a difference by adopting sustainable practices, reducing our carbon footprint, and supporting conservatism effort. We can mitigate the damage.
Individual action count, but collective action is necessary. Governments, corporation, and community must work together to address this crisis.
The future of our planet depends on our choices today. We must choose sustainability over convenience to the well-being of the planet over short-term gains.
Together, we can create a better tomorrow. A tomorrow where our children can inherit a thrilling planet full of life and wonder.